Welcome back to our third installment of Build Your Own Deer Factory. Doc, we're back here in the Cornhusker State in the northeast corner, right along the beautiful Missouri River.
Right.
We have got a beautiful canvas to work with here. And really, I should say we've got a beautiful foundation to work with because our land specialist here has already started working with the property owner and they've began to develop an opportunity for us. But the theme is single season management. In the first episode, we introduced the property. The second episode, we started to identify the metrics at which we were going to grade this property.
Right.
Talked about the three-legged stool.
Yep.
We've got all that established, but now what we need to do is we need to talk about the components that we're going to focus in on, I should say, and really start to build our management plan around. All right, so let's work through these. We've got 5 of them, and I'll just start right out of the gate. The first thing we're going to talk about is thermal cover.
Yes.
All right, give us a breakdown on thermal cover and how we would apply it to this property.
Okay, there's 2 kinds of thermal cover. Warm season thermal cover and cold season thermal cover.
Okay.
The warm season is a habitat that's open understory, got some wind moving through it, usually ridges, things like that. And this property pretty well has that. This property is lacking the one that's lacking all through the Midwest. That's winter thermal cover. Okay. And so in order to fix that, you're going to have to come in, open it up, plant some conifers, pines, and cedars, and so you can build that structure for winter.
So we've talked about thermal cover. Where would you put it on this property? Because I think we have some established already. Like you said, there's already that warm season thermal cover. What about cool season thermal cover?
Okay, let's focus on the winter thermal cover. This right here is where I'd put it.
Okay, this thermal cover aspect, where you're gonna put it, also lies right next to our next critical component, and that's bedding areas and sanctuaries.
Right.
And where or how they might combine with our first critical component.
Okay, first of all, there's one right here, okay?
All right.
That's the sanctuary, that's high ground.
High ground.
Bucks like high ground. So that's one of the sanctuaries. Another sanctuary and bedding area is going to be right here.
Okay.
Where they've already done some logging.
Right.
It opened it up. They did it during the time of the year. We can come back and top seed that with clover.
Okay.
And really make some great groceries.
That's right.
And then the one I really like is this one right here. I will put money on it. There's all kinds of buck sign right there.
Okay. So we've established thermal cover. We've established bedding areas and sanctuaries. Our next component is travel corridors, and it's funny, I think that as we start to continue, or start to draw out the rest of this map, you're gonna see these things intertwine.
Right.
All right, why don't you talk to us about travel corridors?
Okay, to do that, I'm gonna give away a little secret, so don't tell anybody. Okay, you won't tell anybody.
I won't tell a single person.
All right, look here, let's go back to 1995, where this area had been logged. These are the ridges that have been logged. These are the drainages. They clearly identify the travel corridors because deer are drainage animals like this.
That's that one that you talked about.
Right here is the special spot.
Right.
How do these deer get out of this river bottom, because they're feeding right in here.
Yep.
And get up into this. Here is a pass, a secret pass, and they follow this right here into here. So let's put it back and I'll show you where that is on this map. All right.
Look at the difference. It's hard to identify.
It's hard to identify. That's why we do that. All right, here we go. Here it is right here.
Yep.
Boom. The deer come in here. They come on down here. They go in here as well. I also found tracks coming in. It goes like this, follows all the way down here, turns, goes here, goes down here, and down here. And then from below, it comes this way, up like that, into here. But the big one is right here. Where does it go? Right into the sanctuary. All right, now, where are those travel corridors over here? You got them here, you got them here, you got them here, and you got one right here.
Down the middle.
Right down the middle.
All on
that's important right there. All on drainages.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
All right, so now we have identified travel corridors. The next aspect is going to be forage. Not just cultivated, but native forage, which you've kind of touched on with this sanctuary already.
Right, yeah. What we can do is not only do what I said there, is do some logging and open it up, but we also can let some of these areas grow up.
Okay.
CRP is famous.
Right.
But one of the things I'd like to see them do is plant some switchgrass right here to give this more of a travel corridor.
Yep.
But this area right here could be grown into native forage, just fertilize it, you'll have it.
Well, and that's a good thing, because as we address, a lot of times we think cultivated.
Yeah.
You got to have native too. What about cultivated?
All right, cultivated. Here's where I'd put the food plots, and I'll explain in a moment why we're putting them there, okay? And a long belt all along off of this drainage here like this, not the whole food plot, but along, scattered along it, and then one along this ridge right here.
Okay.
Now, what that will do is it deals with 2 problems that you asked me about. One is the neighbors.
Yep.
Okay. We got a lot of agricultural crops over here, a lot of open country. We can pull those deer in as this is harvested. We're going to pull these deer in here. But over here, we're going to pull these deer in. Also, when it floods, those deer are going to go to high ground. When they go to high ground, they're going to go to the highest ground, and we don't want to stack a bunch of deer in and have them destroy the habitat.
Right.
We're going to have all kinds of food for them up and down here, and that will hold those deer on that property.
So we're pulling them in away from the neighbors.
Yeah,
Not to be mean to our neighbors, but we're trying to give ourselves more opportunity. And then the other thing we're doing is we're bringing them to the core of our property. So more time spent on our property, right?
Right, exactly.
Very cool. Well, I hope you folks are paying attention, and I hope you're looking forward to each one of these critical components as we begin to identify them and address them in a more specific manner. Doc, I'm excited about this.
I am really excited about it.
Make sure you stay tuned.